Hi, I'm Markayla. I'm a shamanic healer, an alchemist and a channel. And if you're new here, every single week I offer a free weekly oracle card reading. So if this seems like something that you would benefit from, please make sure you subscribe so that you can receive your reading every single week. This week I have a surprise. I'm also offering an energy transmission for every single card reading. So this is a channeled shamanic energy transmission to support you with the energy that is coming through for you this week. You can see all the information and links directly to those transmissions in the copy below this video, so make sure you check those out. This week I am using the Medicine Heart Oracle of Alana Fairchild. I love this pack. And I have 5 cards, so choose a number between 1 and 5, go to the timestamps below and go straight to your reading, and I'll see you there. So if you chose card number 1, this is your card. Okay, so balance is what's coming through here really, really clearly. And we have just had a solar eclipse and have moved into a new moon in Libra, which is all about balance. And so the first piece of guidance that's super strong that's coming through around balance is being mindful of narrative. So how you're talking to other people about yourself and about them, and how you're talking to yourself. So these are all different types of narrative. And essentially, what you're being invited to do is to become more aware of how you feel when you say the things that you do. So whether you're talking to somebody else about you or someone else, what are the feelings that are being evoked because of what you're saying? And why do you feel the need to share what you're sharing? What are the motivations? What are the drivers? So this is really powerful and punchy medicine, and can be quite confronting. It can be really challenging to sit with what we're saying to ourselves and to others. But the invitation is to become aware so that you can make changes. And what's coming up around this is toxic positivity. So there's a very strong belief in the cultural narrative about being positive because it's beneficial to your energy. And this is not untrue. This is absolutely right. Being uplifted and positive in your approach to life is absolutely the way to go. However, it cannot be done if you are not fully aligned with it. So if you're not feeling good, and yet trying to pretend that you're really positive and everything's okay, or if you really don't like someone, but you're just pretending that you do because you think it's the right thing to do, this is all toxic positivity, because what's actually happening is you're suppressing your true feelings. And the difficulty with that is not only does it not feel good, but you manifest from what you truly feel. So you might be around someone at work that you really can't stand, and you're just trying to be positive about it because you think that's the right thing to do, to be, a good person. These are all hangovers from religion, FYI, but anyway, moving on. And there's nothing wrong with believing in God, but the dogma around religion has a lot to do with the conditioning that we've experienced, particularly when it comes to love thy neighbor, for example. So when you don't like someone, just inherently, intuitively don't like them, and you're pretending that you do, it's actually going to have a really negative impact because you're not honoring what you're really, really feeling. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't strive to love those around us, but we have to do it from the inside. We have to sit with what it is in us that does not feel aligned with that person. We have to meet those feelings. We have to feel our anger, our judgment, our envy, our sadness, our spitefulness, all these elements of our shadow, all these dark aspects of our being that we do not like to sit with because they're not comfortable, they're not good, they're not approved of. These are the parts of us that actually can open up so much light within us. They are doorways, they are not blocks, and they shouldn't be hidden. And what this card is inviting you to do is to start being really honest with yourself about the company that you keep, how you truly feel about the people around you, and whether you're honoring your true feelings. And as I said, this isn't about telling them the truth necessarily, like you're a bad person. It's about you sitting with what it is about them that's triggering you. Your triggers are your gifts. And when you sit with your triggers, you'll find that your feelings toward the person will change because your resistance, your filter to them has changed. So this is when you're dealing with external. However, it's also in calling you to be aware of what you're saying to yourself. And so you might be really nice to everyone around you, but really mean to yourself. This has to be looked at too, and not judged. We don't want to judge ourselves for being mean to ourselves. We don't want to punish ourselves for being mean to ourselves. We want to understand. We want to feel it. We want to go in and ask, why do I talk to myself this way? Why am I so hard on myself? Why do I force myself to go to the gym every single day when I really don't feel like it every single day? Why am I not listening to my body, my natural cycle? Why do I feel this need to scare myself with I have to, I must, I should, or something else will happen to me? These are all really common narratives that are so misleading and so self-depreciating. And this card is telling you you are ready to transform a lot of this. So it's a really powerful invitation. It's also saying that the people around you may not be that helpful with this, and they're not meant to be. This is your journey. So don't look to your close friends or your partner to do this for you or to help you with this. This really is your gift to yourself. And it's not comfortable, it is tricky, and it's a practice, a lifetime practice. But it is so powerfully helpful on your own journey because it really will reveal to you where you might be depriving yourself of deeper understanding of who you are. We tend to create blind spots within ourselves when we feel overwhelmed by confusion or complexity. And a lot of our narratives are coping mechanisms to deal with these blind spots. When we start to look at our narratives really honestly, without judgment, I can't stress that enough. This is not about self-punishment. This is about self-understanding, removing the judgment and just asking ourselves, why do I feel this way around this person? It could be a family member, awkward, right? And it might be for a list of things that they've done to you. And that's all fair enough. But what it doesn't mean, even if they've been a bad person to you, I do this because there's so many layers to that, but I won't go into it now. If someone has mistreated you, the way they've left you means that there's feelings inside you that need to be met. And if you can meet those feelings, the way you feel about that person in spite of what they may have done to you will change dramatically for the better. When we hold on to resentment, we are the ones that carry it. And this is the invitation right here to let go of carrying resentment towards ourselves and others. And what you'll find as you go and look at your narratives honestly, that actually your resentment toward others still comes from resentment toward yourself. It's all about your relationship with you. So this is a really powerful time of transformation for you. And as I always say, if you need help, reach out and get it, because this is complex. Our narratives are complex, and having someone outside of you, and this could just be a good friend. If you don't feel a therapist, like you're ready for a therapist, that's a bit too much, then that's fine. Ask a good friend, someone that you trust to hold space, not someone that's going to give you a load of feedback necessarily, but that will listen to you. If you feel to talk to your therapist, please do. That's a great solution. You're always welcome to come to me. You can look at the link below and book a session through that. So just see what feels right for you. And it might just be your solo journey, and I honor it. That's what I've done mainly. So whatever feels good, just use this advice to amplify your journey of deep self-understanding. And have a wonderful week. Take care. I honor you. This is really powerful work. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. If If you chose card number 2, this is your card. So, clarity, that's what's really coming up with this card. This really strong desire for clarity. And actually there's this real fragility around that. I feel like you might be starting to see something clearly, possibly for the first time. And you may not be liking what you're seeing. It could be, I feel like a heartbreak even around this, or at least some very tender reactions to what you're bearing witness to. And this feels very personal. And it could be about understanding yourself and really bearing witness to a strong limitation that you've been carrying. And you're now really seeing that for what it is. And it's difficult, it's confronting. But you deeply recognize that it's been necessary for you to bear witness to this, because now you can make decisions that come from a new and informed place that can be far more empowered. It really does feel like a light has been shone on something. And what's also coming through here is you have a lot of support from Spirit holding you in this. This is actually something that your soul self has been really wanting you to bear witness to, because it's known that by doing that, you will be able to kind of make a big leap forward in your life, because it will give you clarity on your pathway, but also the drive to do it. Because I feel like you were in this place of holding back before. And that was really out of a sense of self-protection. And also, I feel like it may have been because you didn't want to rock the boat with others. And now it's really become clear to you that the important thing is to let this go and to just go forward, irrespective of what the outcome of that might be. And there might be people around you that don't like this, that want to kind of keep everything as a status quo, that do not like change, or at least don't like your version of change. And so there might be a bit of judgment around that, or around you specifically. And they may say things that in the past would have really strongly triggered you. And they may still trigger you to a certain degree, but nowhere near how they would have before. And what you're being invited to do is really move through this experience, receive whatever judgment or feedback from others they feel is necessary to share, and just take that gift and give it back to them, because you don't need it. And really, in the process of doing this, in the process of really walking your path and speaking your truth and taking ownership of your own feelings and your own desires, the paradigm is shifting for you. And so I have this very strong tenderness that's coming through, and it's really sweet. And there is support for you. I've actually done an attunement for this, as I said at the beginning, and you can find a link to it at the bottom underneath the video. So if you would like support with this, just go to the link below this video in the copy. There's an energy transmission there to support you at this time. But as ever, there is also the opportunity to speak to a close friend, a therapist, or you can reach out to me for a session for support if that feels helpful. But do reach out if you feel that you need someone to just steady your hand whilst you take this path. There's no harm in asking for help from your soul family, and that's what we all are. So good luck with this week. It may bring up a few things for you, but it will also be very empowering. And this is the person you're becoming. So have faith in that, and tread carefully, but with satisfaction. See you soon. If you chose card number 3, this is your card. So I feel like there's a level of maturity that is coming in now. And you have been protecting your heart for quite some time, which means that you may have been holding back in many relationships. And this doesn't mean necessarily personal relationships. This could be work, could be with your body. We relate to everything in our lives. Everything in our existence is a relationship. And it feels as though your relating to life is changing. And in the process, your heart is getting stronger, because there were a lot of protective barriers around your heart. And these have been steadily removed in the last 2 years, and are still going through the process of removal. But it's as if there's this kind of heavy layer that's about ready to just leave now. And you're still in the process of preparing yourself for that. And so there might be this sense of anticipation still about something's going to shift, something's going to change, or I'm going to birth something. And this birthing sensation has been coming for a while, and it may have been a little frustrating, but I feel like you're at peace with it now, and you know that the timing is going to be perfect, and you're absolutely right. So trust that knowing, because it really is imminent now, and it's as if this layer is just going to fall away from your heart, and then you're just going to glide into this next chapter. So the guidance for this week is to just listen. Trust yourself. Listen to your knowing. Listen to your intuition. Trust your maturity. Trust your eldership that's been expanding and evolving over the last little while, and take comfort in it. Like, really sit into it, and maybe ask your guides more questions, or sit with your intuition more. Like, what feels right to me? That's always the way to get there. What feels right to me about this situation or where I'm at? And that can be a daily practice, waking up in the morning. Okay, so these different areas, what feels good to me in these different areas? And that's really a great way to get in contact with your intuition and with your guides, and really support that process of self-expansion, really. And so to support you with this kind of steadying and aligning and attuning, I've created a transmission, as I said at the beginning of the video. And if you want to access it, then you can just go to the link in the copy below, and there is a link, an attunement, a transmission to just steady your vibration and support you in gently expanding and opening up to receive what's coming through. Enjoy, and I'll see you next week. Take care. If you chose card number 4, this is your card. And so I feel like there's a lot of noise at the moment. There's a lot of information coming in, and it feels as though there's a lot going on. And this could be energetic, like you just feel like there's a lot of energy moving through your body. Or it could just feel like there's a lot of things in your life that are just kind of noisy. Like, this needs to be sorted, or this needs attention, and this needs attention, and this needs attention. And there's one particular voice that you really want to hear from, that you really want clarity around, and they're the one that's not really showing up for you, that's not really clear to you. And I feel like that's upsetting you on some level. And the invitation around this is to let go of thinking that whatever this particular voice is should hold so much sway and influence over your decisions or your beliefs or your understanding of yourself. Because the reverse is true. You don't need someone else to validate your feelings, your beliefs. This is an invitation for you to start really listening and understanding your own voice and what feels right to you. And your heart is really singing that in. It's really inviting you to validate your own feelings. And the more that you do that, the more quiet you'll experience, as all these different question marks in your life start to get answered, not because someone else has given you guidance, because your heart has given you guidance. And so you really are being invited to sit with and feel into these different scenarios and see what feels right to you. This is a big step for you, though. I feel as though you're not that adept at listening to your feelings, and there can be a lot of resistance around this, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-questioning. And what's coming through this card really strongly is that is okay. There's always going to be a voice of doubt, but see that voice of doubt for what it is. And as it arises, just say, I see you, I acknowledge you, but I'm just going to let you go to one side, and I'm just going to keep feeling into this conundrum and see what feels right. Because this is really what's being called in for you now. There's a new level of mastery, a new level of self-understanding, and the timing is right for you. And it seems as though there's been a lot of stories recently, a lot of internal stories that have been gently sort of chipping away at your connection with your belief in your intuition and yourself. And this all is ready to be recalibrated now. And not because some external factor is going to come in and clear it all up, but because you're going to decide that something needs to change within you and that you want to cultivate self-trust in your decision making, in your beliefs. And this might be work focused, it might be personal, it might be both. So be very open-minded as to where this applies in your life. Generally speaking, it will be an entire situation, like across the board. The invitation is to create more space for quiet so that you can really tune in and listen. I've actually created a transmission to assist you with this that will just help you open up into a really receptive space. So you can get a link to that underneath this video in the comments. And hopefully that will help you on the journey this week. I wish you the very best. This is a real initiation, and it's a really powerful invitation because it means you're ready for this. So don't feel burdened by this invitation. Really see it for what it is, which is a really beautiful complement to where you are right now. Have a really powerful week. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. If you chose card number 5, this is your card. And so what's coming through really powerfully here is, I don't know, I get this really strong sense of here we go again, or maybe like even boredom. Like there seems to be this dull familiarity with something that's a little frustrating, but actually what's really happening here is that you are holding yourself back in a certain area. And it's because you've not got ready to embrace it yet. And actually this is a really big shift for you, like a transformative shift for you. And I feel like you're aware of it, but you're still just not ready. And it doesn't matter that you're not ready. And I feel it's important for you to let go of any judgment that you may have had around not being ready for something, because everything happens at its perfect time in nature. And this is what's coming through for you. It's, be assured, the timing is right for this. And that rightness is going to filter through to every cell of your being at the perfect time. It's like you're shifting from one energy into another. And so it's really important that you just allow this new energy to really sink into your being. And that process is still occurring. There's still calibration happening, alignment happening with this new vibration that you're very much embodying in many ways. But they're just saying, we know that you want to shift gear. We know that where you are at feels a bit like Groundhog Day, but actually there's a lot more going on within you and outside of you than you may necessarily realize at this time. Trust the process. You will know inherently within yourself when to move forward, and you will fly. So there's nothing to worry about here. It's about letting this recalibration that's occurring within your being really come into culmination, and then you'll be able to move forward with real ease. In fact, it will be a very powerful time for you. So to support you with this marinading that is happening, I have created there's a transmission I've recorded for you. There's a link to it in the copy below. Feel free to go and have a look at it and tune in with that energy and listen to it throughout this week to give you support in that area. Wishing you a wonderful week. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.